Hi, it's Andy Lockwood, college finance consultant, and today is a video edition of my newsletter, the College Success Bulletin. And what I wanted to talk about today are my predictions for next year, for the class of 2013, based on preliminary data that I've seen for the class of 2012. So, no surprise to a lot of people. First of all, admissions is a lot harder. College admissions rates continue to drop. This is not because we have more people who are applying to school. We're slightly below the crest of, I think, about 5 million kids, which happened 2 years ago. What's happening is that more kids are using the Common Application and sending that out to a whole bunch of schools. Instead of the typical, there used to be typical 6 or 8 schools, I'm now seeing kids applying to 8 to 10 to 12 or more schools. I even had a client who applied to like 20 schools, not as per my recommendations, by the way. But what that means is now colleges have a much higher degree of uncertainty as to who is actually going to show up. That's called their yield. So the issue is that with each school's rankings, that the better the yield, meaning the percentage of people who get in compared to the people who actually show up, the better or lower that yield, the higher the college's rankings, and they're a little creeped out, I guess, or they feel a little funny about what's happening. So wait lists are getting longer, and the admissions rates are getting are really dropping. I think Harvard's preliminary admission rate was just a smidge under 7%. Might have been somewhere in the low sixes. This number changes as people get off the wait list and all that. That whatever that number is, 6 or 7%. Keep in mind that is after international students. It's after minority, special situation students. It's after legacies, and every college works like that. It's not just the Ivy League schools. So what does this mean for your child who's in the class of 2013? Well, you've got to do more than ever. You've got to work harder than ever to distinguish yourself as an applicant compared to the rest of the pool. So what I mean by that is specifically, number one, your resume, your background has to really pop. It really has to demonstrate why that college that you're applying to should take you compared to the other 3,000 kids with virtually the same grades and scores. The second thing, of course, grades and scores, like I just mentioned, are really, really important. When I say scores, I mean the standardized tests, the SAT, the ACT. That is now, it's more important this year than it was last year to do really well. So don't overlook your test prep. Now, something else that has become more popular in the last few years is this concept of demonstrating interest, meaning opening up a line of communications with the schools themselves. You've got to think of it as a campaign to each college to let them know that you are indeed interested. What most schools do now is they track your communications, the postcards you send back, the phone calls, the emails, that every time you tour, the chats, whatever. They keep track of all this data and they score it. They assign you an interest score, which sounds a little creepy, a little, Orwellian, something from 1984, Big Brother is watching, that type of thing, but use it to your advantage. So there are very specific things that you can do to demonstrate your interest, and what that does is that increases your chances of getting in because the colleges have a better feel for if they admit you that you'll actually show up. And remember, it's all about the yield. I mentioned that at the beginning of this video. Your essay. This is a big one. Your college essay on the applications is another area where you need to distinguish yourself. You can't write the same old boring essay. An admissions officer at a college might have 500 essays to read in the next 10 days at some point. If you write an essay about the plethora and the myriad of the leadership skills and blah, 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 your essay is going to get tossed. So an essay in and of itself is a fractional component of the application. It might be 10%, but it can put you over the top. It can help you leapfrog over people with higher grades and scores if it is powerful. So what am I talking about? When you take a step back and you look at demonstrating interest, writing the essay, having an extracurricular, a list of extracurriculars that separates you from the herd, what we're talking about fundamentally is a marketing question. You are marketing your child. You may not like this. Your child is a product. You are marketing your child product to schools to help get into these top schools. Now, I am a marketing guy. You can tell from my goofy emails, these videos. You need to take the same approach. Not identical to what I do, maybe, but you need to understand that you need to answer the question, well, why should I take you compared to all these other people? This is a marketing approach. That's what I mean by that. So I have a couple of workshops this week. I've got one in Oyster Bay, and I have one in Plainview. I'm going to be talking more about this stuff, about how you can get your kid into a top school, but I'm going to be spending most of my time on how to pay for it. There are tuition discounts available to upper middle class families that they never know about. They don't even bother applying. Something like 53% of all eligible families don't even fill out the applications. So I'm going to go through all that stuff and more, in addition to making comments on how to get into top schools. So if you're interested in learning more about that, sign up. We still have some seats available in Oyster Bay, but Plainview is a little more full. Just follow the link at the bottom of the screen, sign up. It's free, there's no charge. You can bring a friend for sure, maybe someone else you know who's stressed out about how to get in and how to pay for top colleges. Fill it out, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching this special video installment of the College Success Bulletin. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.